Dear students, welcome to our science class. Hope you all are happy. In our last class, we discussed about soil, right? Let's take a quick look at the portion, okay? So, the first thing we studied was soil formation, okay? So, what is soil? The uppermost layer of the earth's surface is called soil, okay? Next, we studied about weathering. Weathering is the disintegration of rocks on the earth's surface caused by exposure to natural force such as wind, water, frost, roots of plants, etc. Right? So everyone knows that. Then we studied about how many types of weathering. Two, right? Physical weathering and chemical weathering. The next topic was the factors affecting soil formation. Do you remember? The factors that affect soil formation are climate, characteristics of the parent rock, and slope of land. Okay. Then we studied about soil profile. Okay. What is soil profile? The vertical section of soil from the ground surface to the parent rock that shows the different layers of soil, or the horizon is called soil profile. Okay. Can you repeat once again? What is soil profile? The vertical section of the soil from the ground surface to the parent rock that shows the different layers of soil, or the horizon is called soil profile. We have studied 4 horizons, right? A horizon or topsoil. The second one is B horizon or subsoil. And the third one is C horizon that has a parent rock. And the last one is R horizon or bedrock. Okay. Then the next topic was composition of soil. What was it? Do you remember? It was the components of soil. Okay. So the soil consists of water, sand, clay, silt, pebbles, and humus. Then we studied about air and water in soil. Okay. In it, we studied about pore spaces and porosity. Okay. Here the empty spaces between the soil particles is called pore spaces. Remember or not? And the amount of pores that a soil has is called porosity. Okay. So the empty spaces between the soil particle is called pore spaces, and the amount of pores that a soil has is called porosity. Okay. Then we studied about the types of soil. Okay. So how many types of soil did we study? Yes, 3, right? Sandy soil, clayey soil, and loamy soil. Sandy soil is mostly sand, okay, and it has large particles, but it has large pore spaces, so it dries up very easily. So it is not suitable for plant growth. Okay, that is sandy soil. And the second one we studied, that is clayey soil. It has fine particles. It gets sticky when wet and hard when dry. Okay, it is good for making pots. Okay, then we saw loamy soil. Okay, so loamy soil has equal amount of sand and silt. It has high humus content and the porosity required for plant growth. Okay, so it is good for the cultivation of plants and gardening. Okay, students, we have revised our last day's portion. Okay, so hope you all have studied or not. Okay. Now let us move on to the next topic. Are you all interested? Okay. Our topic is properties of soil. Okay. See, different types of soil have different properties. So the types of soil is determined by its special properties. Okay. So here the properties are absorption of water in soil, moisture in the soil, and the percolation rate of water in the soil. Okay. First, let's see about the absorption of water in soil. Okay. See, the plants need water to grow. How do plants get water? Even we need water, right? All the animals need that. So we all get water mostly from rain. Okay. So when it rains, you must have seen puddles of water are formed on the ground. Can you? After some time, puddles seem to dry up, right? So do you know what happens to the water that collects on the land? Some of this water evaporates and returns to the atmosphere, but some water percolates into the soil. This water is absorbed by the plants. Okay, so percolate means what? Percolate means to move down slowly through the layers of soil. Okay, so now the ability of the soil to retain water is known as its water retention capacity. Okay, the ability of the soil to retain water is known as its water retention capacity. Okay, see, while we studied about the different types of soil, we saw about water retention capacity, right? If the soil can't hold water, we will have to water the plant frequently or the plant will die. Is it true? If the soil can't hold water, we will have to the plant, water the plant frequently, okay? Or the plant may die. Okay. So now let's see one activity, okay? About the absorption of water. Okay, so which soil absorb the water first? Okay, now you are looking that conical flask, right? Two conical flask. See, to find out the amount of water absorbed by the soil. Okay, see here two conical flask is there and two funnels. Then in one conical flask you are looking the sand inside, and the other flask inside that clay is there. Okay, it is covered with filter paper. Okay, so and also in the funnel we need 5 milliliter water also. Okay, see, place the funnels over the conical flask. Okay, as shown in the picture. Okay, so now line the funnel with filter paper. Okay, it is covered with the filter paper. Okay, then place sand in one funnel. Okay, uh, see, first line the funnel with filter paper. Okay, then place the sand in one funnel and clay in the other funnel. You are looking in this same. So now pour 500 milliliter of water in each funnel. Okay, so so you know that the water used to go down drop by drop through the sand as well as the clay. Okay, so now the sand will absorb the water very fast, or the clay absorb the water very fast. We have to look it. Okay, here so observe and note down the amount of water collected in each flask in 5 minutes. Okay. Here you know that the clay absorbs more water than sand. Why? In the flask, see, while you look at the collected water more in the first conical flask, but it is less in the second conical flask. From there, we can find that the sand will not absorb the water. Okay, the water goes inside the water. Inside the sand it goes very fast, but the clay absorbs more water than the sand. Okay, so the water absorption capacity of clay is more than the sand. Okay, this is the activity of the absorption of water in the soil. Okay, understand that? Okay, and the next one. Okay, and the next one is moisture in the soil, or the next property is moisture in the soil. Okay, see, if you take some soil in a test tube and heat it, okay, if you see small drops of water formed near the mouth of the test tube. Okay, by this, what you can understand? There is water content in the soil. Okay, so the soil contains some amount of water in the form of moisture. Okay, so the moisture content of the soil depends on the types of soil, the weather condition, and the water retention capacity of the soil. Okay, so soil contains some amount of water in the form of moisture. Okay, so the moisture content of the soil depends on the types of soil, the weather condition, and the water retention capacity of the soil. Okay, so if you see the soil, you can find out if the soil is moist. Okay, if it is waterlogged, you can understand it by look and also by the touch also. Okay, so the moisture of soil helps us to understand when we have to water the land and how much water it needs. Okay, so the moisture of soil helps us to understand when we have to water the land and how much water it needs. Okay, that is moisture in the soil. Okay, and the next one is percolation rate of water in the soil. Okay, so the next property is percolation rate of water in the soil. See, what is percolation rate? That is the rate at which water exists in the soil is known as percolation rate. Okay, what is that? The rate at which water exists in the soil is known as its percolation rate. Okay, so all kinds of plants and animals living in the soil depend on the water held by the soil. Okay, all kinds of plants and animals living in the soil depend on the water held by the soil. Okay, so an earthworm can only breathe if its body is moist. Okay, so it depends on the water held by the soil to keep its body moist. Okay, see, and also the roots of the plants absorb the water held by the soil. So, for the proper growth of the plants, okay, so for the proper growth of the plants, it is important to check the percolation rate of water in the soil. Okay, so what is mean by percolation? Percolation means, for example, you see, let's take clothes. Okay, see, while washing clothes, you take your clothes in a vessel, correct? Or you put them in the washing machine. Okay, so in both way, if you notice, when water is poured on the cloth on the top, it move down and reach the bottom. Correct. In the same way, when water is poured manually or by the rain, the water moves down through every horizon to reach the bottom. Okay, this is called percolation. Okay, so in your text you have an activity in page number 124. Okay, by doing the activity you can find the percolation rate of the soil. Okay, so if the amount of water moving down in some time, for example in 10 minutes, is high, the percolation rate is high. If the amount of water moving down is less, the percolation rate of the soil is low. Okay, in well drained soil like the sandy soil, the water passes down fastly after it is watered or irrigated. At the same time, the water that has low percolation rate will hold too much water for a long time without allowing it to move down. Okay, so this could end up in the decaying of the roots, which is harmful for the plants. Okay, these are the properties of soil. Okay, so here we studied three properties: absorption of water in soil, moisture in the soil, and the percolation rate of water in the soil. Okay, next let's study about soil suitability for crops. Okay, soil suitability for crops. Okay, here the properties of soil in different places is different, so the type of soil in each place is different. Properties of soil in different places is different, the type of soil in each place is different. So we have seen the properties of the different types of soil in our last. Okay, so each one is different from the other. So the different varieties of plants grow in different areas. Okay, so you must have tried to grow apple and orange seeds in your garden. Will they grow? They will not grow. Correct? You see, you know that it will not grow properly in our areas, right? So you must have paddy field near our places. But have you seen wheat field? No, right? So in some places, a particular type of crops grow more than in other places. Okay, so wheat mainly grows well in Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, and Haryana. Okay, same way, major rice producing states are Punjab, Andhra Pradesh, and Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so the soil has to be fertile to grow the crops. Okay, so soil fertility is the capacity of the soil to provide nutrients to adequate the amounts and in proper balance for the growth of the plants. Okay, so not only fertility but light, moisture, and temperature are also important. Understand? Um, understand? See, not only the fertility but light, moisture, and temperature are also important factors for the growth of plants. Okay, so fertility is important. Okay, but some soil will not have the record fertility for the growth of plants. Okay, so to make the soil more fertile, some properties of soil have to be adjusted. Okay, that is alteration of pH, alteration of air content, and addition of fertilizers. Understand that? See, you can see that. See here, to make to make the soil more fertile, some adjustments are done it properly. Okay, these adjustments are alteration of pH, alteration of air content, and addition of fertilizers. Okay, first let's see the adjustment of pH. Okay, pH is the measure of acidity or basicity in a substance. So it is expressed by positive numbers ranging from 0 to 14. Okay, so here 7 indicates the neutral value. Okay, so that it is neither acidic or nor basic. Okay, so when the pH value of a substance is below 7, it is termed as acidic. Okay, and when it is above 7, it is termed as basic or alkaline. Okay, so the pH value of ideal solution is close to neutral. It is ranges from 6.5 to 7.5. Okay, that means it has the acidity or alkalinity to the slightest. Okay, if you don't maintain this pH value, the growth of the plant will be affected. Okay, if you don't maintain the pH value, the growth of the plant will be affected. Okay, so you have studied in your early chapter that a pigment called chlorophyll gives a plant its green color, correct? So the plant prepare this chlorophyll with the help of iron. Okay, so the plant prepare this chlorophyll with the help of iron. So when the plant absorbs water from the soil, it also takes the iron present in the soil and prepares chlorophyll. Okay, so however, when pH of soil increases, that is when it becomes more basic. Okay, the availability of iron decreases. Understand? So as a result, the plant does not get the required amount of iron to make chlorophyll. So it will turn yellow. Okay. So when a farmer has to grow any crop, he has to know the pH value of the soil for a good yield. Okay. Otherwise, his crops may face undesirable consequences and he may suffer a great loss. Okay. So to maintain the pH value of the soil, lime is added to the acidic soil. Okay. To raise its pH, and peat is added to alkaline soil to lower the pH. Okay. So next let us see about the alteration of air content. Okay. In our last class, we study about porosity and pore spaces. Okay, in the soil. These spaces are filled with air and water, right? So the roots of plants need air from these space to grow healthy. Okay, but during rains, the soil gets waterlogged and all the pore spaces get filled with water. Okay, and there will be no space for air. So this causes the decaying of roots and it is difficult to work without the soil. Okay, so this can be improved by plowing the field. Okay, and the next adjustment is addition of fertilizers. Okay, so every type of soil will not have all the nutrients and fertility needed for plant growth. Okay, so some fertilizers have to be added to the soil to make suitable for plant growth and also to get the high yield. Okay, so minerals like nitrate, phosphate, potassium, magnesium are added. Okay, so these are that some adjustments for the soil suitability for crops. Okay, what are the adjustments? Alteration of pH, alteration of air content, and addition of fertilizers. Okay, so the next topic is soil erosion that we will study in the next class. Okay, thank you.